All right, I think we are definitely live. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the
Oh,
Next
hello.
Moon Project. My name is Cody. I will be your host. We're doing something a little bit different today. We're actually having a one-on-one with Bad Bikers NFT games. So we'll get them introduced here in just a second. But before we do, please follow and share the link to this episode of the Next Moon Project. We've got some great alpha coming from Bert. And so, with that being said, this is not financial advice. Just make sure that you do your own research before investing in any project in crypto. That should go without saying. But unfortunately, we do have to keep saying this. And I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. So, with that being said, again, we are excited to have Bad Biker game here to do more of a formal interview with them. And so, with that being said, Bert, let's have you kind of introduce yourself and we'll go from there.
Nice one, Cody. First, thanks a lot for having me. I'm real excited, a little bit nervous. I think the first thing I should just clarify is Bad Bikers is the NFT collection, and the game would be Bad Bikers Death Race. So yeah, introduction-wise, I'm Bertie. I'm the founder of it. I kind of saw NFTs happening. You know, I was there the day Twitter went from charts to NFTs, JPEGs, and just never really got into it because they never really made sense to me. And at some point, I just thought this actually has a lot of potential. The tech, it could be really cool. I should start my own collection, and that's kind of where it all came from. Bad Biker's always been a big fan of biking culture. You know, Biker Mice from Mars was like my thing when I was a kid. I met a few Hells Angels along the way. I had a Harley Davidson motorcycle CD. And yeah, so it's been kind of like a long time cooking. Now obviously the market's picking up. Now we're kind of releasing, even though people aren't as into NFTs as they once were. But that's pretty much it. And obviously, so there's Bad Bikers, there's the game Death Race, and then it's also underpinned by a new ecosystem model that we've founded, we've pioneered, called Grow to Earn, and that's truly disruptive, game-changing NFT utility, and what I think will be the future standard for indie game finance and indie game distribution. Yeah, that's a quick intro, I guess. Mate, I can't hear you all of a sudden. You've gone mute.
I did the old rookie mistake and put myself on mute and started chat. So, anyways, that's a great intro. And we'll definitely be diving into kind of more of like this game to earn concept that you guys have. And
Grow to earn.
Earn, yeah. So we'll be going through all of that. And so let's just kind of kick it off. Let's kind of rewind a little bit more and talk about the earlier days, right? So, every project usually starts with a great spark. What was the initial idea that kind of led to the creation of the Bad Bikers NFT and the Bad Biker Deathmatch game?
Death Race.
Yeah, Death Race. And then kind of just walk me through that whole kind of aha moment that you had there.
Well, to be honest, like most people in crypto, like I came here because of the money, like I would like to make great money and look after my family, first and foremost. And you saw NFTs going crazy. And as I said, it didn't make any sense to me. And, you turn around one day and, wanking wobbly worms are just sold out for 2 million. And you just think to yourself, I can do this, I can do better. And luckily I missed NFT mania, which made me kind of take a lot. But I was far enough in. I designed the collection that I had to I couldn't just not go through with it. So I had to look a lot deeper. And obviously, like NFT tech in a sentence is like a digital wrapper. You can put anything in. So it was somewhat shocking when I looked deeper at like a lot of essentially NFT collections that are now worth, or at the time were worth like $500,000, $100,000. And there was nothing really in that wrapper except Discord access and a JPEG. I come from, I studied film, and for a long time I tried to raise money for a film I was trying to make. Mm-hmm. So this kind of crowdfunding element was always in my mind, and that's kind of what I assumed would be going on. Do you know what I mean? I assumed that if Yaga were building something super cool, that, the Bored Apes were eating the majority of that revenue, the majority of that profit, because, they funded the thing. and with every other collection, but that wasn't really the case. At first I wanted to do something kind of TV series orientated, but then I just started to look at like the possibility with games, and then this concept of like Mario Kart meets Grand Theft Auto just couldn't get it out of my head. And I was actually, again, quite shocked that someone hadn't already made that game. And they, there was Road Rage, I think, like 10, 20 years ago. But the reality is like racing and shooting, it's Mario Kart's ball game, and it really hasn't evolved as a game in 30 years. Now they're hand guides basically, and it's on mobile. It's the only essential revolution in a sentence, right?
Right.
And then I looked a bit deeper, and like all Mario Kart's paid users are in there, like dudes in their 20s, even though it's a game that's like skinned for 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
So really, it just seemed like an obvious play. And then going back to and then this is how Grow to Earn was born, right? Like for me, as I mentioned earlier, like I never bought any NFT collections because they never made any sense to me. Like for $1, for $1,000, for $10,000, like it seemed really absurd. But I tried to make an NFT collection that I would buy, that did make sense to me. And owning a slice of Mario Kart and Grand Theft Auto made a lot of sense to me. There were some SEC compliance hurdles that we have to like think about, and finally got a good workaround that I'm really confident about. But now, even though the game's not developed, don't get me wrong, like I've made an early 8-stage MVP, but now I've got different game partners that are just, I can't drop their names right now until we have a more firm contract in place, which is money dependent. But they've co-produced Call of Duty, Diablo, Star Wars, do you know what I mean? A plethora of AAA games. And, they'll be the people who make Grand Theft Auto meets Mario Kart Death Race actually live up to that, to the way I spin it, right? Like I've got to live up to that. So yeah, just kind of winding back to the aha moment of Grow to Earn, like it was clear to me that all these other NFT collections now at this point had enormous treasuries and 20,000, 10,000 followers, if not more, fans, massive following. So the only way I could compete, and I do, I'm a competitive person, and I do want to be top of that ladder when it comes to most valuable NFT projects. The only way I could compete is by giving my holders significantly more value than any other NFT collection. And right now, to be perfectly honest, like the NFT collection space in a nutshell is founders create things that give the NFTs an associative value, like Doodles, for example. It's really cool, but the value to Doodles is an associative value, and it can only be realized when the Doodle holder sells out of Doodles, right? Whereas here, we have a game, and you don't actually ever have to sell your NFT to make lots of money from that game, right? You just help us grow that game's user base. And this is what's really, truly disruptive, is this Grow to Earn model. And I can't remember exactly what the question was that started this little spiel, but remind me what was the first. What did you say?
No. We're just trying to get to know Bert, and we're trying to get to know the project behind it.
Aha moment. Sorry.
Yeah,
the aha moment.
That aha moment. Like what I guess kind of moving along with it as well is kind of incorporating it. Why the Bad Bikers theme along with that aha moment, if you don't mind sharing that as well.
To be honest, a lot of what's happened and where we are now has been really lucky coincidences in many ways. Like Bad Bikers essentially is the first countercultural brotherhood. Do you know what I mean? Like everything that the crypto is about, breaking the rules and community and going outside of the system. The first people that did that were biker gangs. But is that why I did it? No. I used to draw these little characters in school. They weren't like this. They weren't nearly as cool, but they all had mohawks and a spliff in the mouth and 8 piercings. And do you know what I mean? And they were like bikers. So again, that was a happy coincidence. But again, the more you think about it, the better suited it is. There's a lot of talk right now in the space of cults. Like cults is cool. Like people in Web3 don't have a Netflix account. Cults are not cool, man. Cults, but you give up your first child's butthole to get closer to God, and the priest is a flipping lunatic. Like that's the cults, man. That's these meme coins that were 100 million yesterday and 2 million today that have persuaded a bunch of 12-year-olds to persuade their mothers and aunts to remortgage their house to buy into Solana and Pussy to flip the flipping SP5. That's a cult. Brotherhood, right? It's different, man. You're looked after. Do you know what I mean? The business model in this brotherhood isn't like bring people in to buy shit off you that you've already absolutely rinsed, like, which is the only way to profit from your NFT collections, right? Like there is this Ponzi-esque element in the whole of crypto space of like onboarding normies, which is essentially like boiled down is like cultivating your exit liquidity, right?
Right.
It's like a big game of Jenga where the first piece is the easiest and you make the most, and you know, but you're all in the same rewards pool, and the person taking the 100th piece is just as likely to lose it all, but puts in the same money. Yeah, it's a crazy little space. But what's different with Bad Bikers and Grow to Earn is you don't have to make money by selling your NFT, right? You don't have to make money by selling your token and hyping your token. The only thing you do as a community is drive the user base of this game, and not to mention just like it's a great idea, but it's also self-sustaining and it's self-organized, right? Like I don't have to go and approach KOL by KOL and micromanage different negotiations and check their specs and their return on this platform and that app and da 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 da. Like,
right.
NFT communities, we've never seen anything like it in like 2021. Do you know what I mean? They were like forces of nature that just didn't essentially have anything to do with all that power and potential other than kind of pat each other on the back and say, hey, I love your ape, I love you this, I love you that. And the only way they could make money out of it was this paradoxical situation, this dilemma where it's like you flip and love your ape and it's worth 500 ETH and you got to choose between, you know, 500 ETH, which is a house in Bahamas, and flipping being the real owner of a monkey JPEG that gets you into a ape fest and a couple of Discord access. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
right.
So yeah, this really is because of Grow to Earn. Like, don't get me wrong, like as an NFT collection on a pure art level, I think Bad Bikers is up there with anything. You know, it's cartoon, but like being 3D doesn't make it better. You only have to look at the top NFT collections to see. Like cartoons, man. They hit, you know. On a game level, like Mario Kart meets Grand Theft Auto is a no-brainer, man. Do you know what I mean? Make that love child. It's a no-brainer, bro.
Yeah.
Machine guns, motorcycles, and machetes, bombs, bazookas, bloodshed, bit of PvP betting. There's no. Another thing to mention is like the whole Web3 game thesis, right? It's based around solving a problem that doesn't need to be there in the first place, right? It's based around in-game marketplaces. It's like, yeah, cool, you can own your assets. But when you were playing GoldenEye in 1997, did you give a shit whether you owned the gold sniper? Do you know what I mean? Or who cares, man? GoldenEye, every game is fun for the game's sake of it, man. Actually having to like complete some task or having to like get beaten up by some guy with a rich daddy who let them buy the ultimate machine gun, that takes away from the gaming experience, right? The gaming experience, right? Ultimate gaming experience is the fun, is the enjoyment of it. And if you're going to add money to any part of that, do it the obvious no-brainer way that heightens the gamer experience. Clue, a bunch of men holding cards they've seen a billion times around a card table forever and ever and ever since time immortal. Betting, gambling, that's money in, making the enjoyment higher, right? So that's the only essential way that we'll have money involved in the game itself. Like the game model will be conventional, will be $15 a year. There'll be a free teaser version, it'll be $15 a year. And we'll you know, it's not like we don't like money. We're going to have a certain in-game marketplace, but it will only be aesthetic stuff, nothing that helps you be better at the game, because that would take away from the gaming experience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know, I think if we kind of look at it from, you know, some of the issues that you guys are looking to solve with your game and your model that you have there for your ecosystem, I mean, it's not only issues that are facing your game, it's also facing a lot of Web3 games, right?
Yeah.
The whole kind of introducing the ecosystem, introducing the whole concept of like maybe on-game or on-chain gaming. There's a lot of components there. So, you know, if we kind of boil this down to, you know, what is that one unique thing that can set you guys apart? We've talked about a few different ones, but what would be that one thing that you would want people to resonate with that sets you guys apart? What is that one thing?
The one thing I want people to resonate with is the power of Grow to Earn. Is the decentralized funding model of a game. Is the fact that a game is built essentially by the people, funded by the people, for the people, with their input. It's distributed by the people, and they are getting 81% of revenues, man. Not profit. Do you know what I mean? 81% of revenues, net revenue. So iOS store, they take their 30%, Play Store take their 30%. And later we'll also have another NFT collection that work as like sales agents. They'll be called the brokers of bad.
Nice.
They'll take 20%. Again, this is I want to mention this. Like supplementary NFT collections have typically been, I'm sure maybe there's an exception to the rule somewhere, but have typically been an amount of copy paste and have diluted the privileges for everyone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
This supplementary NFT collection, this drives more value to the original NFT collection, right? Because they get 81%. Now you've got 10,000 people who are getting 81%, who are working collectively, right? But there are going to be some people who sit back and ride the coattails of other people's work. As soon as the game's out properly, then we release the other NFT collection. We reward some of those NFTs to the hardest grafters who pumped the game from the original 10,000, right? We give some of the other ones away to influencers, and we let other people buy into it as well. They will have a unique referral code, and anyone that they refer to the game that pays up, they get 20%, and they save the user 10%, right? Now, this is what's really cool about it, right? That the amount of users attached to that game, that works like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a dynamic trait. So let's say you come on, you have an NFT, you buy one of the brokers of bad, you attach 1,000 paid users and 1,000 guys who are still dummying around and free, making their mind up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You make 1,000 paid users, you make $3 for everyone. Sorry, you make $2 for everyone after iOS store and Play Store. So you make $2,000. Now you can keep it, make $2,000 next year, and you can keep on adding users and keep on pumping it, or you can sell your NFT, and your NFT relative to the floor price is more valuable because you've attached these users. So in both cases, both collectively and individually, collectively with Bad Bikers and individually with the brokers of bad, you give your holders the agency to change the value of the NFT itself for the better by driving this underlying value driver, this game. And like Grow to Earn could work for many other things, but realistically, games are best because they're infinitely scalable. There's not like a cost of goods once you've made it. So you give the holders the agency to change the value of their NFT collection. And like, it's my opinion that like NFT communities, Web3 communities as a whole, like it's cool to have great community managers, but like the best products, their communities just pop up and grow organically. Like no one's managing Bitcoin communities. People come along and throw Bitcoin events because they love Bitcoin because Bitcoin's tech. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like the best products always have the best communities, and like people will get excited about sending a game up and up the charts. And honestly, Mario Kart meets Grand Theft Auto, I'm saying over again, developed by co-producers of Call of Duty and Diablo, etc., is just a hit. It's not going to not be a hit, you know. Like I'm not a game developer. I've just taken my little $7,000 MVP that I made that I'm not going to show anyone. I'm not going to get it out here. It's my naughty little secret because it just shows concept that someone didn't have enough money to make great, to be honest. And I've gone and found the best people in town to make it, you know, and they're just waiting for me to get this pre-sales over the line, and they're cracking on. And 2 months later, the NFT space will never be the same, my friend. Is my theory, man.
I like that, and I'm always a fan of the concept of being able to kind of participate, play, and grow your value of your, not only your portfolio, but whatever project that you're in. If it, to me, that's the best gamification that you can give your community, is the ability to get in there, and it's not how much you can buy to win, it's how much you can participate in order to win.
Yeah.
And
people in the space, they kind of try and stoke that flame of participation without properly rewarding it.
Right.
That's the thing. That's why you see so many of these like positivity echo chambers in Web3 space, especially in NFT communities. Like you've seen it with artifacts, you know, like they're just fueling that fire with a little positivity, but at the same time, they're like telling you it's your privilege to buy 10 grand sneakers that are ugly, man. Do you know what I mean? That, you know, I bought my flipping nephew once some glow in the dark sneakers. They were $10, man. Now you got to put 10 ETH for some shoes that do their own laces. Like, welcome to 2025, man. Do you know what I mean? Like
100%.
Sorry to slam on Artifact when there are a lot of people hurting out there. Like I do know that, but again, I just going back to it. Like I want people to understand, like Grow to Earn is such a better model for driving value to your holders. Do you know what I mean? And it's also like it sustains through the bear market. And like people should focus on this one concept as well. Like obviously there's a certain amount of hot potato speculation, pump and dumping, and it cross crypto assets when it's a bull cycle or bear cycle. Everyone knows peaks and troughs, you know.
Yeah.
But really, like, what are the projects? What are the tokens? What are the assets that are going to be thriving again in the bear market? Because if they're not, then they are really, their value is just speculative. Let's call it play to play. Their value is just speculative.
Yeah.
But but what I want to do as an exclusive for you in this interview at some point is just go over the numbers, because the numbers are really fucking cool, man. The numbers just make the whole rest of the space farcical. Well, it seems too good to be true, but maths is maths. Do you know what I mean?
Well, let's do it. Let's do it. So again, let me just throw this out there. This is not financial advice by any means. Do your own research, but to have Bert, the founder of the game and the collection, break it down is a pretty good opportunity here. So go for it, my friend. Yeah, just jump in and go.
I mean, I will say this first and foremost: if the community doesn't market the game, there are no game users. Do you know what I mean? The emphasis is purely on the community. You know, for SEC reasons and just because I like that model. Just to quickly, because there will be people here saying, as a security, let me just quickly preface all the numbers by this. To be a security, you have to satisfy all 4 prongs of the Howey test. An investment of money in a common enterprise with an expectation of profit derived from the efforts of others. This bent finger here. The efforts of others, you know, that's not the case here. We put the emphasis on our community to organically market the game. And emphasis isn't enough. We will make sure through various Quest platforms that they've signed off on T's and C's, that they've shared our trailer, and that they shared our posts. So they have been active, at a bare minimum, have been somewhat active in marketing the game and the concept, right?
Okay.
Just going, we can jump to the numbers quickly, man. So again, let me just restate in case anyone's joining late or seeing this later and skipped ahead. 81% of net revenues goes to the Bad Biker holders. Net revenues means $15 minus $4.50, which is Play Store and App Store's 30%. Okay, so you're left with $10.05, and then I've basically said that 60% of those game users come straight down that funnel to Bad Bikers, and then 40% come from the brokers of bad that I mentioned earlier, where there is, you know, less money to be made, but they're adding more users, right? So what you get is you end up with $7.48 per user goes to the Bad Biker holders. Okay, so just write that number down: $7.48. Now let's just step outside of the maths for 1 second and let's just spitball some potential numbers here. Again, Mario Kart gameplay, Grand Theft Auto culture, 10,000 financially incentivized stakeholders working as a community, egging each other on, who are going to organically, naturally, because they're financially incentivized to organically market this game across every social app, every streaming platform, in every language, to every corner of the world, plus 5,000 individually incentivized KOLs, influencers, people who can, you know, essentially affiliate marketers, but with the speed and power of the internet. Plus, every game user that's paid $15, if they recommend 4 other paid game users, they get their next year free. Okay, so that whole army to grow the user base of a game that's Mario Kart meets Death Race. If you had to guess a number, how many paid up users do you reckon they would have?
The world's the oyster, right?
Yeah. Just guess a number, because, you know, like, I mean, it's Grand Theft Auto and Mario Kart, love child, with a flipping army behind them, vocally supporting on the internet, like across every platform and app.
Oh, geez. It's too early in the morning to think about those numbers. Those are rabbit hole numbers.
Okay. Well, for the sake of easy maths, let's work with 1 million, 10 million, and 100 million users. Okay.
Perfect. Let's do it.
There's no way I'm going below 1 million, because I just cannot see that if the game is not made by me or some little company no one's heard of, but co-produces Call of Duty isn't up to that standard, where you've got an army of people behind it shilling it, that it's not going to have at least 1 million users, right?
Right.
So 1 million users, that means $700 per NFT annually for the Bad Bikers NFTs, right?
Wow.
But I mean, if you're going to try and like derive a bear market valuation from the amount that it's earning annually, that's still going to be a $3,000 NFT. If it's a 20% dividend yield, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a $3,000 NFT. And again, like, no one's going to stop playing this game, which is a Web 2 game. It's just a Web 2 game, right? Available on every place it's possibly available. No one's going to stop playing the game because Bitcoin is back at 30K, right? So in the bear market, with 1 million users, bare minimum, $700. 10 million users,
Wow.
which is a bit more what I would say is likely. You're looking at $7,000 per NFT annually, bro. And you don't have to sell it. Do you know what I mean? Like everything else in the crypto space, like you have to sell out of it basically to realize your gains, unless you're talking about a few things with yield and yearning. But like, and I think that's the game.
Yeah, and I think that that's something that a lot of people are looking for, especially this cycle than they were last cycle, are more of the passive income type of plays. And so this sounds
I wouldn't say this is passive income, because we do need the community to drive it. But
right.
You know, that doesn't take much. You know, it doesn't take much. Man.
It doesn't take much. You're absolutely right there. And I think that it's looking for projects that have utility behind a token, behind a non-fungible token type of thing, especially in this case type of thing, that they can jump in there. And I liked what you said about, in order to realize your gains, you have to sell the item. So
and frankly, you know, to make sure you get a good price for it, you say, this is the best thing since sliced bread. This is the best thing since sliced bread. This is the best thing since sliced bread on a Wednesday, and on a Thursday, you sell it to some other sucker when you think that's max value, which means you think that guy's about to lose max value. Do you know what I mean? And like, you know, it's the sadness of the PvP world that is the crypto space. But Bad Bikers isn't PvP like that. I'm not going to pretend people aren't going to flip their NFTs. I'm not going to make them soul bound to prevent them. It is the free market. But if you have this little brotherhood, just drive the game's user base, man. Do you know what I mean? That's fun to do. Make some UGC content, kill your buddies, bet, stay up late on the bus to work. Everyone's got a commute, right? This isn't like a 2-hour session, Grand Theft Auto. Like, everyone's got 2 minutes on a commute. They can go, you know, bet $10, whatever, or just enjoy the game for the game's sake, man. 100. Another thing, I'm really bad at like sticking to one question and but I want to get all of them.
You're good.
There's just so much that's so cool about it, and I just don't want to leave this interview thinking that I didn't get it all out. And I already made the mistake of like not just starting from the beginning and blasting the whole way through, which I've done in other interviews. But
no, you're good,
because it's easier when you just start at the beginning and blast the whole way through. But the game itself, before I leave it we're pure mobile focused. Okay, one thing that's really cool about mobiles, apart from obviously there being like 5 billion of them in the world, right? Unlike consoles and Xboxes and whatever. They, of those 5 billion, most of them have gyroscope, right? Now, when you think of racing and shooting, it's basically just Mario Kart, right? But Mario Kart, even though racing and shooting, these two most beloved tenets of gaming, that was a funny fist action. Two most beloved tenets of gaming.
There you go.
The two most beloved tenets of gaming, Mario Kart, then it's not a shooting game because there's no aiming in it, right? You press B, it always hits the person in front of you, or it's a lightning bolt, or it's an omnidirectional thunderstorm, or whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. To be a racing and shooting game, you have to have the aiming to be shooting, to be the simultaneous experience. Okay, so what I'm getting to is the steering is gyroscope, very much like how you drive a motorcycle at speed, right? Is the leaning of it, which is cool. Mm-hmm. And that also frees up the thumbs to do the aiming and shooting. So it is also the most simultaneous, as far as I can see, and I've been saying this for a while, and no one's told me otherwise, so I do firmly believe right now that it is the most simultaneous, or it will be, because I'm just the only person who's played the MVP bar about 5 or 6 people. The MVP, I'm not showing people, right? It will be the most simultaneous racing and shooting experience in gaming. And then the NFT collection and the game will be the most symbiotic relationship between founder and holder in the NFT space. Because I can't win without my holders winning. And my holders win and I win. Do you know, at the end of the day, I still made 19%. You know, don't cry for me giving away 81%. Like, but we win together. It's
Right.
not like Artifact, where the business model is I've got my 10,000 most hardcore fans and I'm just going to feed them KOLs and positive echo chamber, and then I'm going to sell them oversaturated, colorful garbage in a physical realm and a digital realm. And like, it's I say I bully Artifact because they just closed shop yesterday. But at the end of the day, like, this is also like a more conventional producer consumer model shops. Like
Right.
Zara loves to give out vouchers or whatever, so people come back and shop more at Zara. Like, I'm not going to hate on it. It's the conventional model. But here, it's like the NFT founder and the holder, they're on the same team. It isn't this producer-consumer relationship. Once you've gotten past the actual sale and the mint of the NFT collection, we're all on the same team, and we all need to work together to make this thing work. We win together. I mean, there's no losing together, but hypothetically, if we lost, we would lose together, but we win together. It's a symbiotic relationship, and the game itself is a more simultaneous racing and shooting experience. Sorry, I know that was a tangent.
No, that's you're good, my friend. So let's kind of shift a little bit. We've talked about the game, we've talked about the model, we've talked about the earning potential of it. Let's talk a little bit more about like the ideal persona of the ideal community member or the game player that you're looking for. Why don't you kind of dive in a little bit down that rabbit hole of who this game is built for? And because obviously, in the crypto space, there's a lot of gamers. In my opinion, there's a fine line between gamers and investors. And there's a lot more, it seems like there's a lot more investors in games in Web3 than there are actual gamers. There's people that straddle that line that think that they're gamer and investors, but at the end of the day, they need to pick a hat and wear it in a sense. And so as a result of that, they go either way. But I'm curious what your thoughts are on who your ideal is.
A good question. It's a good question. I've been asked it before, and some other people have tried to tell me what I want, and I just should focus on gamers. But the reality is that you need a mix. Like, the mix is healthy, right? Because they say, hey, speculators may just speculate and not play the game, and like, gamers may just play the game and not care about driving the user base. So you want this kind of like financially focused element, but then you also want gamers that are actually like playing it, loving it, can get high on their own supply and tell the world about it, right? So, but you do need, ideally, you need both of them, and you need them in the same room. Do you know what I mean? So you've got the financial people telling the gamer people to flip in, make the content, right? And the financially incentivized people hitting Twitter, just looking for their cooks and whatnot to share anyone gaming, pass them the trailer, whatever it is,
Right.
Again, some other people. So there's two questions, right? It's like, what kind of people do I want for the NFT holders? What kind of people do I want for the gamers? At the end of the day, like, I mean, gaming is for everyone. I don't try and close anyone off, but I essentially have to be true, like in any artistic medium, and gaming is really like an artistic medium, like any like film, like music, like whatever. Like, you can't overthink and try and make it for someone else other than yourself, or you always get confused. Do you know what I mean? So so like, I would make the game the game that I would like to play, which and part of that is a lot of high octane, blood, guts, bad behavior, rude, easy laughs, people that are less sensitive. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of sensitivity in the world, but people that just like to take their little time in the day, chat some shit, blow some shit up, cut some heads, do some wheelies, rip some shit, bet, and shit, Again, like, I don't want to like stereotype and say that's the American, or that's the Asian, or that's the boy, that's the girl, or that's the 20-year-old, or that's the 2-year-old, or well, it's probably not good for the 2-year-olds, let's be honest. Probably, yeah. Probably draw the line at 13-ish, I guess. But I guess that's kind of the glory of games is, you could be a 60-year-old and you could feel like a teenager again playing a game. So yeah, for me, they're games for anyone that likes it, and I'm not going to go out of my way to make it kind of wokely inoffensive when it could hinder the actual gaming experience. you know, it will encourage bad behavior and rudeness and kids chatting shit. Like, I know kids are going to chat shit and go get in their headphones. It's part of the fun of the whole thing, right? Do you know what I mean? Like an 8-year-old telling a 20-year-old who beat his ass from, you know, his mum's basement. That's part of the fun of the whole gaming thing, you know. But going back to the question for the holders, you really, like, the more diverse a mix you have across ages and nationalities, the wider and the bigger the user base is going to be, right? But you know, it's not something you can cherry pick. It's something that will happen organically. Like if someone's in Uzbekistan and sees this flipping game popping up, do you know what I mean? And none of his buddies are playing it. Do you know what I mean? He's going to see an opportunity, pick himself up a bad bike or a brokers are bad, and bish bash bosh. And next thing you know, Uzbekistan like to shoot people and race fast too. Surprise, surprise. They play Mario Kart. They play Grand Theft Auto. They like it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, really, I want to cultivate a diverse mix.
Yeah, no, that makes
gender, nationality, everything, man.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're kind of building in a blend of both, because you need both, right? As you kind of establish there. So,
but I would say, like I've said before, like, you know, if Tarantino made an NFT collection, do you know what I mean? Tarantino films on for everyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. I know what you mean there. So that's actually a good reference to what you're doing there. And so that kind of leads me to my next question is, you know, you've put a heavy emphasis on community, and this being a community driven project, right? And so as a result of that, where are you currently at with your community? What channels are you on? How are you trying to reach new audiences? How are you keeping your current community engaged? Do you want to kind of go down that rabbit hole and kind of explain what your strategy is there?
Sure. To be honest, you know, I put my hand out right now and say it's probably the area I'm struggling with most. I think so many parts of what I'm doing, it's like in these big format conversations, it's cool. People get their heads around them, right? I've been doing really well in spaces, and the cleverest people in the room, like yourself, always sticking their hand up and saying, hey, let me help, let me get you out there. Let's do this, let's do that. But yeah, like Twitter has been like the main channel, but all the attention's on meme coins, you know. You talk to the NFT community, it's people who are holding all these legacy collections. Do you know what I mean? And they don't want to hear that their utility is associative and unworthy. Do you know what I mean? They kind of don't want to hear it, man. They're holding 10 doodles, 10 apes, 10 punks, blah, blah, blah. They don't want to hear this new thing coming up. So to be honest, I think I need to spread my seed with a higher tier of KOLs that can get this message out there, which I'm in conversations with a big top dog agency that hopefully are going to set that up. But, you know, I'm very bootstrapped at this. I'm bootstrapped at this moment, and my little bucket of gold is diminishing. But at the same time, like, you know, we only launched Twitter maybe less than 2 months ago, but it's been so encouraging through the spaces that, like, knowing that eventually it will happen and it will get there, because when people do listen, they agree that this is a good fucking thing to be involved with, you know. Like, the other part of the maths obviously is, like, you know, how many, we're only doing one pre-sale a wallet, but like how many Bad Biker pre-sales at one soul, which is expensive, right? From right now for new mints and NFT collections. But, you know, how many Bad Biker pre-sales can you get for your ape? How can you get it for your doodle? Can you get for your pudgy? Like, how cool is it that, you know, you're in Walmart versus like you actually own a slice of a game and everyone's playing? Do you know what I mean? Right. That's the other part of the maths. But yeah, so as far as community building right now, like, to be honest, I've just kept it Twitter until I'm at the right inflection point where we can do Telegram or Discord rather than both. Just because I know it requires a lot more, like, people can take advantage of Telegrams and Discords more easily than they can Twitter. Do you know what I mean? So right now, while I'm certainly a bit stretched and I don't have all the right people in place as far as community building goes, and I'm waiting for the right moment, and then, yeah, 100% really stoke that community flair. But yeah, to be honest, it isn't my forte. I actually, to be honest, fucking hate Twitter. Like, it's not fun for me at all. I've got, you know, every hour on Twitter is an hour that I'm not playing with my son that was born 5 months ago. That it's going to make me more tired when I am playing with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, actually, the emphasis on a founder, or, you know, anyone, a business founder, whatever, like replying to everyone saying the same shit about Artifact yesterday, and everyone saying the same shit about Bitcoin the day before, and like playing this engagement game is just absolutely madness, you know. So to be honest, I really want to do more spaces. I really want to do more podcasts, and at some point, hopefully, I'll get to the point where I put a tweet and I don't have to worry about like farming every reply and like and da da da. So it gets so actually, do you know what I mean? And actually, like people just read it. But right now, there's a lot of shouting into empty spaces, which is just time absorbing and frustrating. And so yeah, but it is slow and steady. Like the right people are sticking their hands up and saying, "This is great. Let me help, and let's work with it and let's drive it together." And so yeah, I'm just kind of getting all those ducks in a row, and at the same time, probably going to look to onboard some top tier KOLs that can really make this click quickly. Yeah, so that would be it, because you know, like I actually like these conversations. I don't like flipping tweeting and replying.
Yeah, sometimes it's
so much, and especially when you're in Dubai and you know, American market's so important. You're doing it like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
GM.
Yeah. So, well, we appreciate you jumping on. I know it's been kind of hard for us to try to find a time to do this. So, as you can tell, it's early morning for me. It's late at night for you. So,
yeah. Well, this is reasonable for me, man. This is 6. You know, this is actually pretty cool, man. And yeah, thanks a lot for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. So let's kind of keep the conversation going. So you said that you've got Twitter. How can people contact you on Twitter? What's your handle? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm Bad Biker and Bad Bikers NFTs. Yeah, either or. Like I run and check both of them, and get yourself a whitelist for our pre-sale. And it's real easy, man. I'm not asking for a pound of flesh. Just share our shit, man. Help me get this gospel out there, you know. Engage, comment, share, retweet, repost, like, you know, for all my sins. And while I am struggling with Twitter, like I don't post quantity, man. I like to think it's quality, or at least it's controversial. You know, at the very least, if it's not real quality, it's probably controversial and piss a few people off.
No,
might get kicks from that, you know.
No, I love it. I love it.
But yeah, as far as people wanting to get involved, like, you know, I'm not saying like it's one song, you know. I know it's not a lot, and actually, like, for some crazy strange reason, the two like theses and NFTs are like, buy legacy projects, and if you're starting a project, make it smaller and make it cheaper. Like, that is the dumbest fucking thing you've ever heard, right? Like, make it better and people will pay for it. Do you know what I mean? Don't just do the same shit that everyone's been doing, smaller and cheap. Like, what kind of fucking answer is that, man? Do you know what I mean? What kind of business model is that? Like, oh yeah, we're just gonna make shoes smaller, cheaper.
Yep.
Right. Make them better, man.
And your guys' website is badbikers.io, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really more informative than experiential, the website right now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And so how do they sign up for this whitelist thing that you just mentioned?
To be honest, I need to actually like go through all my Twitter engagement. I've been meaning to do it. I say every weekend I'm going to do it, and then my son kicks my ass. Sorry, everyone who has been engaging. But yeah, one of these, like, it's really annoying. I know someone told me about a program that just does that and looks through and ranks all the people that have engaged with you. But like Twitter analytics, it just shows you how many likes and views and whatever you got. It doesn't actually show you the people that have, you know. So I need to work out what app that is. I don't know if you know it. That can tell you like which people have engaged with you most, or I actually just need to manually go through my posts and see what's up. But yeah, but at the same time, I've also got a collab manager who's working hard. He's giving away whitelist spots as well to communities. Gotcha. In theory, are meant to all be following, but I think some of these platforms are being gamed big time, you know.
Yeah.
So they're like 600 submissions who were meant to have followed all of us, and, you know, not very many new followers the next day. So it's a funny old world, man. It's a funny old world, honestly. Like a lot of this, even though I'm so confident about my project, man, I get in a room and someone's open-minded and listens to me. Like, yeah, it's really like, it's encouraging, you know. Yeah. But at the same time, there's a lot of like people, gaming systems who just want a flipping quick buck, who want a meme coin, who want a token, want an airdrop, want a free NFT. So it's tough, man. So just before we completely leave the idea of numbers. So what did we say? 10 million is 7.5 grand annually per NFT. That's also just, where did I put these numbers, man? rather here. So let's also appreciate that, like, a Bored Ape was 70 grand yesterday. I think it's 90 now. Bought a
Wow.
70 grand Bored Ape would get you 300 pre-sales. 300 times 7 grand a year. That's 2.1 million. Or you can go to Ape Fest. Do you know what I mean? like, do you know you can buy merch? You can, you can buy a flipping slice of other side for 80 ETH. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to pick on the specifics, and I probably forgot stuff. And I know there are experiential sprinklings for any ape holders listening. There are experiential sprinklings here, but there isn't the real value to get out of it. You have to sell it to some other sucker who thinks it's going to go to 1 million, that you think is not going to get further than 200,000 or whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, apes you can get 295 of them. Pudgies you can get 204 pre-sales. Milady Makers 95 pre-sales. Azuki 79 pre-sales. Mutant Apes 50 pre-sales. Doodles nearly 40 pre-sales. Man, the list goes on. Mad Lads 33 pre-sales. Solana Monkey Business 25 pre-sales. Do you know what I mean? And for me, this game should be getting upwards of 10 million users. So yeah.
So
I understand there is value in these NFT collections, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Like there is alpha, there is community. I know that people appreciate it. And one thing that I like don't personally tap into that I do think is really great is when you hear of a guy that didn't really have any friends that makes loads of friends in these NFT communities. That I think is really cool. Mm-hmm. Like my NFT collection isn't necessarily designed for that. Like that isn't the emphasis. It's, you know, it's something that someone that has friends and has a nice life would buy because it actually makes sense and they could explain it to their friend and it makes sense, rather than some of the madness that we get excited about in Web3 space. But I do think that is really cool. And I do appreciate there are other cool things in these other NFT communities, but I would consider them mere sprinklings versus owning a slice of a game that you could drive to 10 million plus users and live flipping tasty lives off the back of, you know.
Right. And yeah, no, and I like what you're, you know, putting emphasis on community. You're putting emphasis on value of playing and participating in the community. One thing that I've noticed is that there a few of the newer games that are coming out this next cycle. They're kind of introducing that whole kind of like community lifestyle feel, where they're adding in not only like NFTs, things like that, in-game purchases, but they're also adding in merchandise kind of thing. And I can see Bad Bikers is kind of like that aesthetic brand that people can kind of relate to, right? I could see people walking around with Bad Biker shirts on, things like
little leather jackets, whatever. Like it's funny, like the company that wants to least focus on merchandise is like a value driver, because we've actually got an actual value driver. Mm-hmm. Based on its IP, is kind of like the most obvious play, one of the most obvious plays for merchandise, right? Because it's, and the logo as well, man. Fucking the logo is the coolest logo in the space, man. I won't have anyone tell me otherwise. Well,
no, I mean? It is a cool logo. I definitely like that. I think that's when I first met you, we were actually on a separate AMA, and we met each other through that. And I happened to see the little brass knuckle logo for you guys in your Twitter post or Twitter profile pic, and I was like, "What the crap is that?" So I clicked on it, and then I saw it, and then we started chatting, and it's been a wild ride. But you know, just kind of getting to know you, kind of getting to know the project, and you know, that's what Next Moon Project is all about. It's not here to hype one specific project. We're here to kind of just see who's out there, and in our search for the next moonshot project. But also, you know, because of myself and my partner's background that helped found this kind of project, we're looking to connect everybody as much as possible, right? And so as we've been talking even more today, I'm getting even some more ideas of where we could probably help you connect with other people to just get out to the masses. Because I think that's one thing that a lot of projects struggle with in Web3 is they get down into these unique silos and they start building the same thing over and over again. You've got like hundreds of thousands of projects that are working on the same thing. You've got people that are not on a specific platform, so they're having to start their marketing from ground zero and almost having to recreate the wheel rather than being able to jump onto like a gaming console that's already been established and be able to just push the game, right? You're having to establish the console and the game at the same time, in an essence, to get that marketing out there, and it's a real struggle, that's for sure. But on the flip side of that, you know, it's when we can come together, like you said, being able to talk to each other, being able to engage with people on Twitter, being able to just kind of establish that community vibe of what you're trying to cook and what you're trying to give off is what's going to help you grow, no doubt. And I agree with you 100%. I've done this numerous times, and these kind of things are the things that are going to definitely make the project grow, make the handles grow, and make not only you as an expert in the field grow as well, but just try to get the knowledge out there that there are people trying to do some things rather than the art NFT or just doing a meme token. They're actually trying to put utility and real world use case behind it as well. So I definitely applaud you on that one. It sounds like a really good project. And you know, for our listeners that are just tuning in, we've got Bert with Bad Bikers. We've been talking about their grow to earn, their death match, death race. I'm stuck on the death match thing. You know?
Bert Biker, Bad Bikers, death race, grow to earn.
Yep. And you know, you threw out some good alpha. You threw out some really good things there. You know, in terms of you know, what people could expect in points of return. Again, this is not financial advice. This is more of just an educational, entertainment purpose of what we're trying to do.
Common sense.
Yeah, common sense. I can't guarantee
not financial advice, but common fucking sense, geniuses.
Yeah. So anyways, just I've got a couple of last questions for you. We're coming up here on the hour, but just definitely wanted to ask you a few questions. You know, when are you looking to basically launch? When are you looking to start kind of really pushing this thing? I think that's one of the questions that most people will definitely have. So if you want to kind of jump in on that, that would be great.
Sure. So our immediate milestones are selling 1,000 pre-sales at one soul, which is about 250 grand, 240 grand. With that, I can make this proof of concept MVP playing against AI version at this Call of Duty kind of standard. And then I can also make this 2-minute animated trailer, which is really cool. That kind of like results in these idiots not being able to settle their differences and having to like duke it out in the deathmatch, but really cool little animation. With that, then, you know, I've got my PvP, I've got my MVP, my trailer, and I've got 1,000 early backers. They're going to push that MVP and trailer everywhere. Next thing you know, we're going to mint. The mint mechanics will spell coffee. Sorry, co-working space and whatnot. Better not leave litter on the floor for too long. So then next we have the main mint. Will be probably an auction of some kind. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, I intend to have the most valuable. My goal is to have the most valuable mint on Solana, as far as dollars, because like Sol once upon a time was you know, it was $8 or whatnot. I'm not sure exactly what the most valuable mint on Solana has been in dollars, but yeah, we'd aim to top that, you know, because I think people will see, even though it's the MVP, that it will be at this proper AAA quality, and say I could own a slice of that, or I could be in a fucking chat room talking meme coins. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's real underlying value. Sorry to emphasize it again, and sorry to just like farcically sweep all of Web3 with these sweeping statements. I do know there are individual companies that do have different sprinklings, but it's actually decentralized. Like, and it's online with the thesis of the space, right? It's decentralized ownership, actual community ownership,
right?
You know, and I think that'll make a lot of sense to people. Yeah. So then the main mint, and that should be kind of 3 months after pre-sales, 2-3 months after pre-sales. And then after that main mint, just build the game out, keep the community alive. But again, like, I don't want to, this is the there's a fundamental value driver here. I don't want really to aid and abet in like the artificial hyperinflation of an NFT. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to focus on the game, and when the game comes out, the game comes out. and that's when the fun starts. Game comes out probably hopefully in under 12 months from that. These are all, some of these numbers I know aren't doing me any favors because NFT people like quick flips, but I'm an honest guy. The game will come out probably, hopefully, before the end of the bull cycle. But again, really, who gives a shit? Because people aren't going to not play the fucking game. Sorry for swearing. They're not going to play the game. Oh, I've sworn so much today, man. My mum and wife and little sister probably want to watch this at some point. Sorry, kids.
No, it's all good, man.
But yeah, like it's this. I think I said it at some point in this interview. My aim is to be the second most valuable NFT collection in the bear market. Because for me, that's the actual valuation, right? And that's what actually shit's worth, right? Not the everyone. Buy this. It's the best thing ever. Go to the moon, 100x. Blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? That's the actual valuation, right? And we will thrive then because everyone's playing the game, and like the users will just compound, right? Like if every game user will just recommend more people, bring on more buddies, we'll have gang races, capture the flag, that kind of element as well,
Yep.
And then after that, it would just be further developing out the IP. Like I studied film. I'd love to turn this into a little animated series. But yeah, I mean, there's no point in me talking 10 years down the line when I still haven't done the pre-sales at this point. But yeah, like there's so much. I don't like the concept of like IP NFT collections because like everything that's cool enough should be an IP. And it's like, do you know, IP is IP. Everyone, like everything is IP. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But there's obviously so much potential with bikers. Like we've seen it. Like Sons of Anarchy broke all records on the station it was on. Biker Mice from Mars, my favorite show, which has just been purchased, I believe, by Ryan Reynolds not so long ago. Crap film by Tom Hardy recently last year, got loads of buzz because it's biker gangs, even though it's absolutely pants. Sorry if you're watching, Tom, you've done better. But bikers, there's so much entertainment in there, and again, like just to go back to it, biker gangs were the original counterculture movement, man. Do you know what I mean? Biker gangs or NFT communities aspire to be, man. Do you know what I mean? Like the idea of like community, NFT communities are cool and Web3 communities are cool. They're cool, but like the end of the day, you are all like, this is the best thing ever. Bring your friends in, and then next day you're selling. Do you know what I mean? That is if you're here to make money, which most of us are. When we ball a plate, when we call a plate a plate, most of us came here to make money. That is the grubby, annoying, unsatisfying side of crypto, and that is the thing that's what I get most excited about this project is this kind of, we cracked the code and worked our way around it. And just to say that like I don't in any way try and intend to like own Grow to Earn or like patent it or protect it. Like like I would love to see more people doing it. I think it's a really, really awesome, powerful tool for indie game finance and indie game distribution. I think it will set the standard for NFT utility, actually like driving value to the NFT holders without saying, congratulations, your floor price is up, you can sell out of it and make loads. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm really like, I honestly, with the current metas, I think it should be punks, doodles, penguins, then apes, as far as value goes, because of this associative value driver. Like everything Doodles is doing with music videos and the film and Amazonas is really, really cool. But like the doodle holders don't even get a flip a pack of chicken nuggets, man. Do you know what I mean? Where's that Big Mac, bro? There's obviously money involved in that deal. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no,
and there's a certain securities element, I know, but I think some people kind of hide behind that rather than try and overcome it, right? Because it does mean basically keeping more to yourself as a founder. But yeah, I really think Grow to Earn is the kind of ecosystem model that this space needs to adapt, or if it did adapt, it would be a better space for it,
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think the play to earn kind of whole general concept of it is something that people want, but I think that from a logistic kind of standpoint, it's extremely hard and it kind of loses its flavor. So again,
it's the in-game economy and making pay to earn means you have to pay to play. Someone has to pay to play on the other side of that, right?
It needs to be a flywheel kind of ecosystem, in out transactions happening, things to show merit rather than it just being a one-sided kind of deal. Like you achieve this level, you achieve this task, you blah blah blah. You earn all these rewards. Now what can I do with them, right? And I think that's where the kind of play to earn model has failed in the Web3 space. But yeah,
I think that, like, there's like philosophically, there's a kind of cool. There's something cool about it, but I don't know if anyone's actually nailed it yet. I remember someone saying there was a game where you you pay $1, and if you kill one person, you get their $1, and they kill you. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of like a break even. But again, that's kind of like more the gambling side of things. Like that's what's always worked. Do you know what I mean? Especially when, to a certain degree, the house isn't taking anything. The house is just, say, charging you to come in, and then, do you know what I mean? Which is, again,
100%.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, people aren't, this is, we live in a capitalistic world. I'm not expecting people to make projects that they don't expect to make money from. Like, again, like, I'm making 19%. Do you know what I mean? Me and the investors on like the angel side of things, my team, we make our 19%. We've got to pay the server fees, but like, so I don't pretend like we're doing it for free.
Yeah.
And I do also think that giving away 81% is the best way to at least 5x your user base. Do you know what I mean? So all the same at the end of the day. But yeah, I think there's, greed isn't essentially good, and this is a good model for like winning together rather than and it takes greed off the table, so you're not tempted by it, right? It's like you have to win together.
Yep. And I like what you said there, winning together, right? That's a big thing. Even though individual people are winning within the community, it's the community's winning
together. Yeah. And it's not having favorites, right? Like you reward some people with the brokers of Bad NFT. Do you know what I mean? But apart from that, it's not like cherry picking. I also respect the person who buys an NFT, who helps fund this dream of mine, this big flip and grow to earn movement, and has a real job and a wife and a family, and doesn't have the time to blast Discord and do this and da da da. Do you know? Like, I still respect that person. I'm still fighting.
100%.
One other thing, sorry, I just want to say is it's like we're seeing it more now, like, and we've seen it with NFT collections specifically of like, we're, the Wiggly Wanking Worms. We're going to build the Wiggly Wanking Worms Wankerverse. Just sorry, mum and dad and Holly and wife. Sorry, got to stop swearing. It sounded funny at the time, www, but sorry for swearing. We're going to build that Wobblyverse, and it's like this promise. It's promise to the NFT community, right? But then, like, the holders, the founders, they're looking at their $1 million, and they're really thinking like, well, who knows how to build a Wobblyverse? Like, no one's really built a successful metaverse. And actually, do these worms, does anyone really care? Do they even want to hang out with them? And they kind of end up with like, and I'm just saying, like, this isn't everyone, but like, let's just all assume the worst in everyone for the sake of this argument. Let's think everyone has this big business attitude, right? Mm-hmm. They're really going to look at that and say, what is the bare minimum we can do here to say that we gave it our best shot and walk away still with some money here? Do you know what I mean? Because that is their earnings from the sake of that they founded this project on, right? Like, and every person who's going to rug is not going to tell you they're going to rug. They're going to tell you they're a good guy, Like, I'm telling you I'm a good guy, but I don't want you to believe me that I'm telling you I'm a good guy. I want you to understand that the financial incentives are there to ensure that I make this game, because it's one thing to have the biggest mint on Solana, but if going back to your 10 million users, which I expect to get more than, which earns my NFT holders over $7,000 a year, that's 7.5 million. We're earning something like, I can't remember, but 25 million or something like that by going through with the game. Do you know what I mean? There's server fees I've got to pay off that and other stuff I'll do with it. But the financial incentives are there to make sure this always goes the distance. It's set up properly. Do you know what I mean? This symbiotic relationship isn't any way pump and dump orientated. It makes, and like, again, you can see it in the way I'm executing stuff, is that I'm just selling the pre-sales. If I was going to pump and dump or rug or whatever, I would just blast everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I'd blast everything. I'd sell everything, But pre-sales, when you can see the concept and the game with top dog people who cost me an arm and a leg to build out this MVP, and then it's going to be paid for with that mint, and then it's going the distance, because it's unlike every other thing around. When you turn around on crypto Twitter, this is bear market proof. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
This is bear. I don't see anything more bear market proof than Bad Bikers. I would love if there were more things, but reality is, and I'd love if anyone watching or seeing this in the future could comment anything that's more bear market proof than a Web2 game owned by 10,000 Bad Biker NFT holders, driven by 5,000 individual sales agents, with every game user wanting to invite 4 of their friends.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think you've kind of nailed it. I mean, if you even look at like the Halo days, right? Even though like Xbox has shut down a lot of those services, you still got the OGs that are still playing that game, and I think that that's the achievement that any game, Web 2 or Web 3, aims to kind of vie for in terms of a community, is that cult-like community that's going to stick and, well, ride or died with you.
Brotherhood,
Right?
brotherhood like community,
Yeah, yeah.
brotherhood like community, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that that's something that you're definitely striving for, which is great to see. A lot of too many games as of late over the last few years have shifted focus on other aspects of things, which
Yeah.
is
And
impacted
again, because
gameplay and things like
part of
that.
that is again the writings on the wall because of the financial incentives, right? They're
Hmm.
bankrolled by VCs who only make token investments. Like, you don't have to be a Einstein math genius to work out that they want max output from that token. So
Right.
it's going to be launched top of the flipping bull cycle, where retail are likely to lose a lot of money. And
Yep.
again, sweeping statement: not all games, not all tokens, but it will be for a lot of people because
Agreed.
that's the financial
Agreed.
incentives. That's the big business beast, right?
Yep. So we've talked about community. We've talked about roadmap. Do you have any hard dates? Yeah, you haven't mentioned any hard
I don't
dates
have
yet.
any. Yeah, I don't have any hard dates, to be honest. Like
Okay.
I'd love if I can get these top tier KOLs on board tomorrow, and then with them, I could probably do the pre-sales in 3-4 days after that, and I could just get cracking. Like I'm not.
Perfect.
Like I'm just eager to just get cracking, man, with the good stuff rather than
So
reply
what's the
guiding.
next step for you, and what's the next step for potential investors that want to come in? When
The next step for potential investors is to make sure you get on the whitelist. Honestly, I'll give 10. I'm not sure. I can't see viewers here, but I don't have the massivest, most biggest following ever. But if you're watching this, share this. First 10 people to share this, quote retweet this. You can have a whitelist, and the best. My wife's calling. Sorry. The best. I normally answer just for. Oh my gosh, she's gonna watch this as well. I love you, baby. Sorry, this is important. Yeah, get on the wise list. If anyone can make any wicked little clips of this, share your favorite little clip of this, I'll get you on the white list. And yeah, I endeavor, even though this is not financial advice, it's common sense. I endeavor to make Bad Bikers pre-sale the best investment you've ever made in space. Again, not financial advice. I don't know how. Can you say something like that and then caveat it with not financial advice?
I don't know. I
You know what I
think
mean?
that kind of
Guys,
nulls it
this is
out.
financial advice, guys. Take it from me. I know that 2 + 2 = 5. Okay.
Well, that's not financial advice
You're
from
on mute
me, but
again,
it
bro.
is
You're on mute. You're on
financial
mute. You're
advice
on
from
mute.
Bert. So,
You're on mute.
oh, I'm not. Am I on mute? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What's going on, man? Can you say something?
Can you hear me now?
Fucking hell.
Uh,
Nightmare, mate. Nightmare. What's going on here? Let me just try and disconnect my. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, man. I'm now on the laptop. I don't know what's going on. Just
No.
when we thought we'd gotten over our technical bumps.
Gotta love it. But anyways, yeah. So we're definitely past the hour for sure. So, but this has been a great conversation with you, and we
Thank you,
appreciate
man.
you coming on and divulging a little bit more details about Bad Bikers and the NFT, the death race, the what was it? The
Try it
brokers.
all. Try it all. Try my
Yeah.
name, the company name, the game, and then the initiative. Try and hit all 4.
Oh, geez, I don't know. That's too early for me in the morning, and that's a lot of bees. But yes, for sure. Definitely check out the game. Again, not financial advice coming from the Next Moon Project, but definitely coming from Bert. It is financial advice, but
No, it's just common sense, guys.
yeah,
2
yeah,
+ 2 = 5 is what I'm saying.
yep,
Okay, so
yep.
make of that.
So do the math,
Don't
do everything there that you can to do your own research. Definitely recommend checking them out. The artwork is phenomenal. You've done a
thank you.
great job with that. Definitely looking to keep our eye on you guys for sure. as you guys kind of move into the next bull cycle. And we definitely wish you the best of luck in your project and things to come. And so if you guys happen to have any questions for Bad Bikers or Bert specifically, please feel free to reach out to him on Twitter. They are very eager to answer your questions and to get you started on your path to community participation. Definitely
even
got
though I
some
said
good
I didn't
things
like
going.
Twitter, even though I said I didn't like Twitter, that's the kind of tweeting I like. Actual questions for people who
Right,
want to know more.
right, right.
Bit
I
of
think we all
flattery.
do. I think we all, man. I think we do. So, anyways, thanks again for tuning in. If you're listening to this on a recorded version of it, definitely please reshare this. We again here at Next Moon, our whole ethos is that we want to try to push out and get to know a lot of different projects that are out there. But in the interim, we're definitely looking for the next moon project. Again, not financial advice. Do your own research. And hopefully we've given you enough information about Bad Bikers to kind of inform your own decision. And but again, thanks again, Bert. We appreciate you coming on, and best of luck to you guys in the future.
Thank you so much for doing the space, man. Honestly, you're a legend for giving me a little microphone, letting me spill my guts out here, and for making the time, man. Thank you so much, bro.
That's what it's all for.
You're one of the good. You're one of the good ones, man. Keep fighting the righteous.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So, to all you guys that are
Appreciate
tuning in, thanks again, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Next Moon Project. See ya.